Hello everyone, welcome to today's story. In the quiet life at the farm, Lytuna thought she had finally found peace beside Alex and little Henry. But just when trust was being rebuilt, an unexpected shadow appeared. Alex's ex-lover arrived, and with trembling words, she claimed to be carrying his child. Is this the truth, or just a cruel trap to tear them apart? Will Lytuna's fragile faith collapse under the weight of betrayal? And most of all, can Alex prove his innocence before everything is lost? Stay with us until the very end to uncover the answers. And don't forget to subscribe. Your support will help us reach 1,000 followers and bring you more stories filled with emotion and suspense. The road back to the farm was damp with the memory of last night's heavy rain. Mud clung to their shoes, and the smell of wet earth rose into the air. Alex walked ahead, steady and calm, carrying the weight of silence, while Lytuna followed with Henry in her arms. The baby stirred lightly, as if sensing the change of place, but soon fell back into the rhythm of sleep. Inside the small farmhouse, the sound of a fan hummed softly. Alex spread out the mosquito net with careful hands, a gesture that carried more tenderness than words could hold. Lytuna laid Henry down, watching the baby's chest rise and fall with a fragile steadiness that reminded her of how delicate life could be. For a moment, there was peace. The kind that lingers after storms, fragile yet undeniable. But behind Lytuna's eyes was a shadow of guilt. She remembered the days she had left, the hours Alex spent searching for her, and the questions she could not answer. Her heart felt heavy with the weight of mistakes. Alex noticed her hesitation. He did not speak loudly, nor did he demand explanations. Instead, his voice came low and quiet, like a breeze moving through tall grass. "It's all right," he said. "Don't think about it anymore. You're here now." The words settled into the silence, not as absolution, but as a fragile bridge. And in that moment, the farm did not feel like just a place. It felt like a chance to begin again. The late afternoon light slanted through the open window, turning dust into drifting specks of gold. Lytuna sat quietly, her hands resting in her lap, while Alex moved about the room, placing things where they belonged. It felt almost ordinary, yet beneath the stillness lay a truth waiting to be spoken. Her voice trembled as she finally broke the silence. "I left because I couldn't bear it, Alex. When I learned Johnny was not my brother, everything inside me collapsed. I didn't know where to put my heart, so I ran." The words spilled out, fragile, almost ashamed. Alex stopped what he was doing, his gaze resting on her. His face did not carry anger, only the fatigue of someone who had searched in vain, night after night. "You were gone, and I could not find you. I looked everywhere, just to know you were safe," he said. His tone was soft, yet it carried the ache of those empty days. Lytuna lowered her eyes. Guilt coiled inside her, but before she could speak again, Alex drew closer. "I'm not angry," he murmured. "I was only afraid of losing you." The quiet stretched between them like a river, and for the first time, Lytuna felt the current ease. In Alex's voice, she heard not reproach, but the fragile thread of forgiveness. Outside, the cicadas sang their endless song. The farm, though worn by storms, seemed to breathe again, and within its stillness, two hearts tentatively learned how to mend. Morning unfolded gently, its light washing over the farm in pale hues. The yard was damp, the soil soft beneath their steps. Alex carried a pail of feed while Tuna swept fallen leaves into careful piles. The ordinary sounds of life, the rustle of chickens, the swish of the broom, the splash of water into the fish pond, wove together into a fragile rhythm of homecoming. Henry's laughter drifted faintly from inside, a reminder that even in weariness, joy could bloom. Tuna paused for a moment, leaning on the broom, her eyes tracing the horizon where the fields stretched endlessly. She thought of how she had once left all this behind, and how even the weeds had grown wild in her absence. Now, every sweep of her hand felt like an act of penance, a way of reclaiming the life she almost lost. Alex, beside the pond, scattered bran for the fish. Ripples spread outward, silver fins breaking the surface in flashes of light. He turned toward her with a faint smile. "Look," he said quietly, "they've grown stronger, just like us, perhaps." Tuna met his gaze, her heart tightening. In the stillness, there was no grand declaration, only the shared labor of ordinary tasks. Yet within these gestures lay a deeper intimacy, an understanding that love could be rebuilt not with promises alone, but with hands working side by side. The farm, once burdened by absence, now felt alive again. Each corner whispered of second chances, though neither dared to say it aloud. By the time the sun leaned westward, the farmhouse filled with the warmth of cooking. The scent of fresh vegetables, damp with garden soil, mingled with the sharp crackle of eggs frying in a pan. Alex moved easily in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, his hands steady. He had stopped at the market earlier, returning with fish and eggs as though they were small treasures. Tuna stood nearby, watching him. For a moment, she forgot the heaviness in her chest. There was something almost tender in the way he salted the fish, or how he urged her to sit instead of helping. "You need rest," he told her, voice low but firm. "Let me take care of this." When the table was set, the meal looked simple, yet it carried the weight of unspoken devotion. They ate in silence at first, the clatter of chopsticks filling the space. Then Tuna, her voice quiet, broke the hush. "Alex," she whispered, "I promise, I won't leave again. Not like before." He lifted his gaze to hers. The lamplight caught in his eyes, and though he said nothing for a while, the faint curve of a smile appeared. It was not triumph, nor demand. It was relief. Outside, night gathered slowly, pressing against the windows. Inside, the farm seemed to cradle them, enclosing their fragile vows. No grand words were exchanged, only the soft rhythm of a meal shared. Yet in it lay a promise, to hold on to each other, no matter the storms ahead. Night softened into stillness, and from the quiet room, a small cry stirred. Henry had awakened. Tuna lifted him gently, her hands instinctively swaying with a rhythm older than memory itself. The baby's eyes blinked wide, reflecting the flicker of lamplight, before his tiny fists curled back into the comfort of her embrace. Alex entered quietly, pausing at the doorway. His gaze lingered on mother and child, a portrait framed by shadows and soft light. "What did you name him?" he asked, his voice nearly a whisper, as though afraid the night might break. Tuna turned her face toward him, hesitant, then spoke with quiet pride. "Henry. I named him Henry. Do you think it's good?" Alex's breath caught for a moment. He repeated the name slowly, as if tasting its weight. "Henry. Yes. It's a strong name. It suits him. His eyes softened as he crouched beside them, brushing a gentle hand across the baby's small blanket. From now on, I'll call him Henry too. Tuna felt something loosen in her chest. For weeks, doubt had been a shadow clinging to her heart. But in Alex's simple acceptance, she found a fragile reassurance. The baby stirred again, a soft sound rising from his lips, and Alex leaned closer, murmuring, "Be good, Henry. Grow strong." In that instant, the farm seemed more than land or labor. It became a sanctuary, a promise etched not in stone, but in the fragile bond of family. The evening calm was broken by the sudden crunch of footsteps on the gravel path. Tuna, still holding Henry, looked toward the doorway, her heart tightening without reason. A woman stood there, her presence sharp, her gaze unwavering. Silence hung heavy until her words fell like stones into water. "I'm pregnant, Alex, with your child." The air seemed to collapse. Tuna's arms froze around Henry, her breath caught somewhere between disbelief and pain. The world inside the farmhouse, so carefully rebuilt with gentleness, cracked in an instant. She searched Alex's face, desperate for denial, for some explanation that could shatter the claim. Alex stood rooted, shock drawing the color from his expression. His voice emerged low, almost strangled. "That can't be true." His eyes narrowed, suspicion cutting through the fog. "What game are you playing?" But the woman did not flinch. Her hand lingered over her abdomen, as if sealing her words with gesture. Tuna's knees weakened, the room tilted. In her silence burned both fear and disbelief, her mind screaming against what her heart refused to accept. The farm, once filled with tender voices and the scent of warm meals, now echoed with a hollow stillness. Outside, the cicadas sang as if nothing had changed, but within these walls a storm gathered, unseen yet merciless. Was Alex truly betrayed? Or was he being trapped in a cruel design? Tuna's eyes glistened, not with accusation, but with a grief too deep for words. Morning light crept through the windows, pale and uncertain, as though it too sensed the fracture left behind. Tuna moved quietly through the farmhouse, her steps heavy with the memory of last night's revelation. Henry slept, oblivious, his soft breaths a fragile reminder that innocence still existed in a world clouded by doubt. Alex's sister arrived before her departure to the city. Her eyes caught the tension in the air, the way Tuna avoided Alex's gaze, the silence that weighed heavier than words. Sitting beside Tuna, she placed a hand gently over hers. "Don't let shadows take root in your heart," she whispered. "What you heard may not be the truth. Alex deserves the chance to prove it." Tuna looked up, her eyes rimmed with exhaustion. For a heartbeat, she wanted to believe, wanted to trust the man who had searched for her, cooked for her, held Henry with such tenderness. Yet doubt clung like mist, refusing to lift. Before leaving, Alex's sister turned to him, her tone steady. "Clear this, Alex. For her, for yourself, for the child. Don't let this poison linger." Her words were not harsh, but they carried the weight of necessity. At the gate, she offered her farewell, a faint smile masking her concern. "I'll visit again. Take care of each other." As her figure receded down the path, Tuna stood in the doorway, Henry in her arms. The farm stretched out before her, vast and quiet. In that silence lay a question that no one dared answer. could love endure when trust was shaken at its core?
Tử Na cùng Alex và bé Henry trở lại nông trại sau cơn mưa lớn. Không khí yên bình dần trở lại. Cả hai cùng dọn dẹp, chăm sóc gà, cá, chia sẻ một bữa cơm giản dị, nơi Tử Na hứa sẽ không bỏ đi nữa. Henry đặt tên trở thành niềm hy vọng, sợi dây kết nối của họ. Nhưng khi cuộc sống thường chừng trở nên bình yên, người yêu cũ của Alex bất ngờ xuất hiện, tuyên bố đang mang thai với anh. Cú sốc khiến Tử Na chết lặng, ánh mắt đầy hoang mang, còn Alex sững sờ nghi ngờ đây là thiết âm mưu hãm hại. Trước khi rời quê, chị gái Alex đến thăm, chứng kiến sự căng thẳng, nhắc nhở Alex phải làm sáng tỏ sự thật. Tương lai tình yêu của họ rơi vào